It is April 23rd, 2025, and this is Hungover Handwrite. Chad Hobrink. I'm Jonathan Sawyer.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, coming off of a no UFC weekend.
I know. Thank God I was in Texas doing stuff.
Welcome to
I
the show.
What else? What would you have done?
I don't know.
I mean,
I honestly had a little panic attack.
Really?
Because I was like,
what did I
thinking
do?
of what we were going to be doing and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Well, luckily for me, there's playoff hockey on right now. So
yeah,
the Blues played Saturday, so I went ahead and watched that, and they lost again last night. So that's what I did instead.
I think I watched the ending of that, the first game, and then that was
blew it.
Yeah, blew it, and then I didn't get to watch another one. Then I heard from Devin.
Yeah, we're going back home. We're going back to the Lou for the next two. So if we got a chance, we got to win the next two.
Yeah.
So
I will say, I enjoyed watching. And you know me, I'm not really huge into hockey.
Yeah. I
root for the Blues because they're here.
Yeah.
That's the only team I root for from here. So, I was way more entertained just watching that playoff than I watched the Laker game, and I fell asleep during it.
Are they they're the one seed? I'm assuming.
I don't even know. Like I'm a Laker fan. I haven't been since someone came to town. So
yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was a snooze fest. They got the shit kicked out of them.
Oh, they did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so probably not the number one seed. Then I don't know a thing about basketball, but playoff hockey is the best thing ever.
I've heard several people say it's a great thing to watch. One of the best playoffs things.
Yeah, but that's not what we're here to talk about. These people listening are like, "Are you a hockey
what
show,
the hell, guys? What the fuck?"
So yeah, no UFC this past weekend. Nothing to talk about in that regard, but we do have some results for some other big organizations that they said, "Hey, the UFC's off this weekend. Let's all do shows." So we'll talk about those a little bit. Got some news, not a ton, but we got some big stories that are kind of TBD, but we're going to talk about them anyways. And then, of course, we're going to talk about an event that we're going to.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Red Kingdom.
I don't even want to go anymore.
You don't?
Just because you played that
well,
song.
I don't think anyone.
Welcome to the
Well, actually, I don't know. There's at least one.
Who do we need? Who is it? Bill Algeo. I need you to be here.
Oh yeah.
Shit on Kansas City.
No. So yeah, we're going to this event, and we're from Southwest Missouri, so we're going to the Kansas City event. They come to Missouri like once a year now.
Yeah.
It's Kansas City, and then last year was St. Louis, and now back to Kansas City.
They get good turnouts.
Yeah.
I think if it keeps getting, they keep getting the crowds they're getting, maybe getting pay-per-view or something around. That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. And then I'm going to tell you guys about a few other events this past weekend. But before we get into Kansas City, let's talk about some results from this past weekend. PFL had an event on Friday. Middleweights and what are the women's? No, sorry, middleweights and lightweights. Last week was the women. Interesting card. Some finishes on this card, which I feel like PFL is not known for those. Sometimes PFL is boring as hell.
Sometimes they get a real snooze fest.
We'll just hit the main topics here. Like this Aaron Jeffrey Murad Ramazanov fight, split decision, first fight of the night. A lot of people thought Murad got robbed here. Thought Aaron Jeffrey should have lost. He wins the split, and of course, with the tournament format as opposed to the season playoffs format, one and done. You lose, you're out, even if the judges screw you.
Yeah, am I mistaken that Aaron Jeffrey, he beat Vanderford.
Yep, he was a Bellator guy.
Yeah, he's got he's
beat Douglas Lima.
He's fought some names. He wins against some names.
He beat Dalton Rasta, who literally we'll talk about here in a second.
Wow.
That's I guess I didn't realize how well he did in Bellator, but yeah, he wins a split. Brent Premise wins an easy one. This Vinicius Cincy was a supposed to fight as an alternate,
Mhm.
and then Premise his opponent, who was supposed to be Alexander Shabili, who I know is actually good, but I don't know that much about him. He pulls out. This replacement comes in, and Premise RNCs him. Conan Silvera's son, Josh, he wins a unanimous decision over Mike Shipman. Clay Collard, who we know Clay Collard. Cassius Clay, been a PFL guy for a long time. He's minus 185 favorite, and he gets TKO'd in the first round by Alfie Davis.
Spinning back elbow.
Yeah, and it was weird. I actually remember this one. It was such a short little elbow. Like he spun and there was no like extension on it. It was short and it didn't even look like it hit him hardly.
Really?
And Clay just was all messed up and fell down, and it was kind of weird.
Crazy how it works like that.
Yeah, I think it got him like temple, top of the head area.
Just get hit in a specific spot that then you're fucked.
Yeah. JJ Wilson, I think I've mentioned him before as like a guy that Bellator, he was like a homegrown guy from Bellator. He's been in Bellator, or was in Bellator he was 9-1, so, and he's 11-1 now. So New Zealand kid beats Mats Burnell, who is pretty good. Burnell's he was in the UFC at one point. He's been in PFL for quite a while, or Bellator and PFL. Good win for Wilson. Dalton Rasta, we just mentioned him. Darce chokes Sadabu C, which is that's a big win.
Yeah, that's a big name.
Now Sadabu C, he is like normally a welterweight, and he's going up this season for the 85ers, but still a good win. Mark DeCasey gets knocked out in 32 seconds.
Ouchie! I saw that one, or I should say,
did he slip or something?
I think he did. It was like I don't know if it was on the lettering.
Yeah, it was like right in the center.
Yeah,
I don't remember it specifically now, but Gadzi Rabadzanov, I know the name. 6-0 in PFL, 5-0 in Bellator, so pretty good. So I guess no shame really, other than the fact that it was in 32 seconds. Impa Kasanganai gets upset by Fabian Edwards.
Yeah. And the thing is, from what I was watching, I went back because it, obviously didn't last very long, but he was having success and doing all right. And then Fabian got him against the fence and just exploded.
Yeah.
And caught him. And,
Fabian is obviously similar to his brother Leon, if you didn't know. But I don't know. Fabian seems a little bit more of an explosive athlete to me.
I would agree with that too. I think that Leon has his touches. He's definitely, I would say Leon's probably the more technical guy, honestly. Just the more well polished. And Fabian that's where he kind of gets away with certain things because of his athletic ability.
Right. I don't know. I don't have the bracket now, the new bracket pulled up, but not that we really need it. But that was the middleweights and the lightweights, and I think we get a break for PFL for a little bit here now. And then LFA, like they do every weekend, it seems like, had an event in South Dakota.
In South Dakota,
didn't catch a ton of this one. I did see the last couple fights. This Mitchell McKee guy, he's 9-0 now. And he's like fairly young, I think. And Logan Storley is in his corner. Robbie Lawler was in his corner. He's a Killcliff guy. He wrestled at University of Minnesota. So
he's pretty good.
Yeah, and was it age 27.
Okay.
9-0 in LFA. LFA is a direct feeder to the UFC in most cases. So I think we could definitely see him now. I guess I don't know. Maybe
is he pure wrestler or is he?
No, he's a D1 wrestler. 5 KOs, 4 decisions.
Okay.
So he likes to strike a little bit, and in this fight here, wins a decision, but a lot of it took place on the feet, if I remember right. So
I watched I saw a little article about him that Robbie got interviewed on and talked about him a little bit, but I haven't really seen much tape on him.
If the UFC is where he wants to go, then he's in the right organization for sure. Main event. So Richie Miranda was a local guy out of South Dakota. Richie Lewis was a minus 1,200 favorite, and I'm not super familiar with Richie Lewis, except for he's obviously wrestled for Team USA at some point and beat Lance Palmer, who is a former PFL champ, in a grappling match in Karate Combat. I remember seeing him there. He was spent a lot of time on top in this fight and was winning, and then literally right at the end of the 4th round, he got caught with an elbow, and he thought it was like an eye poke. He was like looking at the ref, but it was an elbow just right in his eye.
Oh.
Cut him open. Next round, gets dropped and hurt again and finished. TKO'd in the 5th round as a minus 1,200 favorite.
Damn.
The plus 750 hometown dog wins the belt.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's the fight game, man. We saw that with why am I losing it? Padilla did it to him, elbow in the eye.
Oh, yeah, Rongju.
Yeah, Rongju.
Yeah. Yeah, that one that exploded his eye too. Like blew it up. I think this one was more of a cut but yeah.
But yeah, even cut, like just the eyes are so sensitive to anything.
Yep.
And fighters always think, "Oh, he poked me in the eye."
Yep.
I mean, Rongju got hit a whole elbow in his eye and thought he was poked.
And it's like in both of those situations, it's like, how do you think that was a finger? You know?
Yeah, it's almost like, because I guess getting punched in the eye. Now, I've never really been punched in the eye, directly. I don't know. I don't know if like in your mind just automatically thinks foreign object in my eye.
Probably that's probably
and
it.
You're just screaming, okay, that means poked.
Yeah, and there we see sometimes guys get punched and they do that too. They get punched in the eye, not just elbows. But this one here, Richie Lewis, like it was a very clear elbow. Now it kind of came from the side of his head a little bit, where he may not have saw it coming, but it's also like that just seems like it would be a different feeling than this.
Oh, elbow.
But I can't blame him too much. I'm sure it sucked.
Oh,
but Cage Warriors 187. They keep going too, man. They got one next weekend also. We'll talk about. Nothing real crazy here, like as far as big fights, but the main event, Sean Clancy Jr. He's like the hometown guy in Glasgow, and he's 7-0. I think he's like 24. I want to say. Not.
Yeah, it was just
not applicable.
Just a guess.
I don't know. I think they said 24, but he submits a Brazilian in the main event there. So it seems like Cage Warriors is like super hyped on him. So we may see him later on
in the fire,
the UFC. But and another than that, CFFC, good promotion. Had an event as well. Didn't watch any of this one, honestly. Anthony Garasio wins the heavyweight title in the main event in the first round, minute 32 seconds in. The weird thing, this may just be a typo, but it says round 1 of 4.
They said we can't go 5.
They're heavyweights. These guys,
heavyweights, we're going 4.
Their cardio stinks. So we're going 4 rounds. So it only lasted a minute and a half. So that's interesting. I need to go back and see what the knockout looked like in that one. But what do you think? Anything else from this weekend in combat sports?
Really, I was just I try to catch up at night because it was a busy weekend for me. So
yeah,
out in Texas doing my thing with some family, but I'd be laying in bed catching up and everything. But I mainly it's the news, the stuff coming up. That's
yeah. You ready to get into that?
Yeah.
News team, assemble! Welcome to
All right. On to the news. We got some matchups we're going to talk about first, but I kind of just put everything in order this week. Just try to put it in chronological order, regardless of if it's a matchup or something else. But First up, Andreas Gustafsson versus Jeremiah Wells, May 31st, fight night. The reason I put this on here is just because Gustafsson fought on the Contender Series this past year and has been booked before and has yet to make his debut, and he had a really nasty win on Contender Series against a guy I thought was pretty good. So I personally have been waiting to see him in the UFC, and we've had to wait a while because he had the cancellation, but he's getting in there with Jeremiah Wells, who is a Marquez MMA guy out of Philly, trains with Sean Brady and those guys.
Who's the guy he fought in Contender Series?
It was a Canadian dude, Pat Pitlick.
That's right.
And I felt bad for this Pitlick guy because he was trying his ass off, but this Gustafsson guy out of, Sweden?
Yeah.
He just clinches up and just elbows the shit out of your head. Yeah. He has a really interesting style. But
he's a scary looking dude.
Yeah. He's a little older, 34 years old, so he's going to have to get going, but I'm interested to see if that style will work against these types of guys.
I wonder what stopped him from his debut.
It was supposed to be
Preston Parsons.
Yeah, Preston Parsons. He withdrew apparently. It doesn't say why, but yeah. So yeah, interested in that one. It's a fight night. I'm assuming Apex. Yeah, man. Aaron Blanchfield and Macy Barber fighting in the Apex. Really?
I guess.
Ridiculous. I want to be there for that.
That'd be real cool.
More matchups here. We'll talk about this one here in a second. Jared Gordon versus Thiago Moises, May 17th, UFC Vegas 106.
Really? That one's intriguing.
It's like, I like the fight. It'll be fun, but it's kind of like somebody's got to win this one.
Yeah, someone.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
No, I do like these guys. Moises, I've always felt like Moises is like good, but just fights good guys and can't ever seem to beat the really good ones.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel like when he does, he can't. I'm not to say anything bad about the guy, but sometimes it's like the rise to the occasion.
Yeah,
he kind of comes up short. I mean, he's fighting good guys, but sometimes it's just like he's not there fully.
And he's been on the wrong end of some pretty badass weapons. Like Alvarez beat him up pretty bad. Yeah. Per sources, Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque in the works for UFC 316, June 7th.
That Trailblazer just keeps on a-blazing.
It's crazy.
He spends a lot, so he's got to earn a lot.
It's true. It's just... I think, like... I've been guilty of complaining about guys not fighting enough.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, like, that just seems like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're not getting just absolutely fucked up every fight, then
he did win his last one.
Yeah, and you're staying healthy through your camps, which that's a challenge in and of itself.
That's probably the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he just fought March 22nd.
Yeah.
He's fighting June 7th. January 18th, before that, he lost. Now he got submitted early, but October 5th, June 1st, March 9th.
And he had that rib injury against the Leadze.
Yeah. It's kind of we've seen guys and girls, Angela Hill, that fight a lot, but I think Holland's back to like an unprecedented pace right now.
Yeah, he's either owes a lot of money or he's just like, fuck it, man. I know I'm not getting to the belt. I know I'm just here to make money and I love living a lavish lifestyle. So I got to earn it. I'm going to work.
He loves living a lavish lifestyle in the gym 24/7, apparently. Yeah. Sean O'Malley seen on crutches in a video. It's really weird that video got out.
It is, because he's around friends, and man, I don't know.
Now that is, I don't even know what's going on. So he's getting ready to build a house. I kind of feel like a guy that, like, as big as him and, as established as him, he was a former champ. If they don't want a video like that getting out, it's not going to get out.
Very possible. Yeah. You would think, like, hey, especially if it's something serious.
Yeah.
Like, what if it was something he kicked somebody and he got some bruising and they were like, just lay off it a little bit? That's a little different.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. It's got to be something like that.
Or they're playing a little.
I was to say, I'm kind of thinking there's a possibility that he's just completely fine.
Because that's literally coming after a few weeks ago or a month ago of saying, I'm the healthiest I've ever been. Yeah. If I can just keep the train going, that'd be great.
Now, we've seen him have some ankle issues in a fight before, so yes. I don't know. It's hard to say. No,
I hope he isn't hurt and he goes out there and fights hurt and everything, because he's going against a fucking absolute,
I don't think there's no way he's gonna go in there banged up, or at least they all are a little bit, but like he's not gonna go in there compromised.
He can't,
because this is it.
He went in last time compromised, right. Supposedly, so
yeah, he's not gonna get like completely shut out of the title picture if he pulls out of this. So
no,
do it if you have to, type of thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The Shamil Gadzhiev and the polar bear Spivak, they've been supposed to have fought like 3 times now. It was like on an Abu Dhabi card, and it was moved to the UFC 316. Now Gadzhiev apparently is out, and Waldo Cortez Acosta stepping in is apparently what's going to happen here.
I'm honestly not scared for Waldo there.
You're not?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that could be like one of those sneaky wins you can pull out.
I think, yeah, the polar bear, he's a weird one, because sometimes he can just dominate you on the mat, and then sometimes he just looks terrible.
True. Yeah, sometimes you look like a bag of shit, and sometimes you actually look like a polar bear.
Now we've obviously seen Waldo do it offensively against like probably the worst grappler in UFC history, Rebellis de Spain.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that really means, but we've also been seeing him light people up on the feet lately too.
That's I think where he's going to have the upper hand, but obviously you got to keep the polar bear
and Gon, which obviously different style, but Gon put Spivak away easily. Like it's almost like Spivak's like, I don't need to be in here with this guy. So I don't know. I like Waldo a lot, and I actually don't hate his chances in that one. We got the rankings up here. What are they ranked? Spivak 7, Waldo 11. So that's big, and short notice ish, but June. He's stepping in for a guy that in a fight that was already booked, but June, I don't even know if you could consider that short notice.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking, that's still a big risk for Spivak.
Yeah.
But he was going to go against Gadzhiev, but at least he was planning for him having a full camp against him.
Right. I almost wonder, because they've been, again, this is the second time. Well, they were moved from one card to another, so now they're like, has Spivak been in a camp for like 15 weeks now? Like,
shit,
is he like gonna burn himself out? Because they kind of have it all planned out to where they're trying to, have everything ready and peaking at the right time.
And also with they probably don't care either, because they don't know what the fuck's happening with Jones and Aspinall.
Oh,
at the top,
meaning who?
Like, the UFC. Obviously, we're going to talk about it here a little bit later, but it's still, that division's so stale right now.
Oh yeah, they don't care about how long Sergey
Polar bear
trains.
You walk around the Arctic forever and just wait, and we'll go from there.
Just keep moving it, because they know with the way this year's going, they know like everyone's getting hurt on every card. So we tell you where to go, and you march over there and walk into the fire.
Exactly.
This is a good one. One that we've been hearing about for a while. Apparently, Usman versus Buckley in the works for the main event in Atlanta, June 14th.
I'm actually excited if like this does go down. I'm excited for it. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Both super freak, bodied the fuck up dudes. Obviously one older, one's going to be a little bit more explosive, but Usman can still do the damn thing. I don't care. Like you say, he can't walk, downstairs.
Not forward.
Yeah, he's got to walk backwards downstairs. All that shit. Can't walk backwards downstairs, but he can fight. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but he's still a motherfucker.
And I think the Usman of like 7-8 years ago at this point, would make this fight really boring.
Yes.
But nowadays he's not.
Now he's actually polished himself into a pretty good striker.
They're going to stand.
Yeah.
And Buckley, I've said this like 80 times now. He's like dragged me into believing in him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I believe in Buckley nowadays. So.
Yeah. It's almost like he's taking himself seriously.
Yeah. It's also weird that guys just take a while sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We see it all, Oliveira, and there's a million other examples that I can't think of off the top of my head.
It's like growing up in the octagon, you know, just.
Yeah. Another one that we knew this was going to happen. Nazem Sadikov is going to fight on UFC Azerbaijan.
Mm-hmm.
He's Azerbaijani, so he's
Makes
fighting
sense.
Nicholas Mota on that card. I think he's literally like one of like 3 or 4 guys that have any sort of ties to that country. So
yeah,
I know you and I both are big Sadikov fans, so I'm excited for that one. Mota, probably kind of underrated because people don't really know him, but he is a good striker too.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember his last fight.
It's been a while. I know he got knocked out, or I think he actually got subbed by Manuel Torres. I don't think that was the last one. Beat Mahashate.
Mm-hmm.
Beat Tom Nolan. TKO'd him. No contest. Trey Ogden. Oh yeah, it was a knockout. Got knocked out with an elbow against Manuel Torres, but he is a good striker.
Yeah.
He's going to be probably quite a bit. Oh no, 5'9". He might be about the same height as Sadikov, but I don't know. That'll be a fun one because they're gonna strike it out.
Oh yeah.
And Sadikov's going to get a big pop over there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that crowd's gonna go nuts.
Kyle Braulio, like what's going on here? He tells DC in a video that gets leaked that he's fighting Imavov June 28th. And then I guess we'll throw this one in there too. Apparently Dricus du Plessis, or I don't even know, is it official now? He's out? I think it is.
They both tweeted at each other. Kamzat calling him biggest bullshit.
DDP.
Yeah, he called DDP this guy biggest bullshit.
Don't call the kettle black, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on, man.
And DDP responded with that.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, let's talk about the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, dude, anyways, that's not the story here, but yeah, Dricus out. Imavov, I think it was like literally a couple days before this that Imavov, or that Braulio said he was fighting Imavov. Where do we stand now with this Kamzat Braulio situation?
I know Braulio's game, and I'd love it for him because, I mean, obviously it wasn't Kamzat this time pulling out.
Yeah. And
Kamzat's probably fucking pissed because he struggles so much with the weight cut.
Yeah.
Even up a fucking weight class, he just seemed to, it's terrible. His body does not react like other fighters. It just eats away at him, literally. So, Braulio, the guy's going to fight for a title soon. He's going to, especially if this UFC's like, yeah, go against Kamzat. But is Kamzat going to take? I know Kamzat is, always says he's game to fight anybody, anywhere. I'll smash him, all whatever. But
he's not.
In a real thinker thing, is he really gonna do that?
Just wait.
Would it be the smart move? Like, I'm finally getting a title shot, but I could fight this killer.
I'm sure Kamzat, I don't know. I'm sure he's like, I could kill Braulio too and then fight for the belt. But like, I guess that's kind of the fine line sometimes with these guys in their decision making is like, do you take that risk? I mean, we saw Kelvin was supposed to fight Whitaker for the belt, took the risk to fight Izzy for the interim belt, and lost.
Yeah.
You got to think about that type of stuff. I don't know if Kamzat thinks about that. I'm sure his management does. But
that'd be pretty sick if we got a fight like Kelvin Izzy with Braulio Kamzat. Because that's one of the best fights ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, especially if they were like, okay, we'll wait for DDP to get healthy, we'll make this an interim.
Right.
That'd be sick. Then that sets up a super, pay-per-view with whoever wins.
So does it happen?
I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah.
That'd be real fucking cool if it did, though.
What is DDP? It was like a knee or something?
I didn't even see what happened.
I think I could be making that up, but a knee injury, that's kind of, obviously it depends on what it is, but
It could be a while.
yeah. We need to look into that and see what it actually is, but yeah, I think we'll probably see Braulio Imavov June 28th still.
Yeah.
Which,
it's already...
That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because both them boys can strike, and they're both really good at not getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
Still somehow not official, I don't think, but Dustin versus Max, UFC 318, July 19th in New Orleans, apparently.
Yeah, I think Dustin was supposed to... He came out and said he was going to disclose it in a couple weeks. It's been about a week since he said that.
Is this just like money talk? Is that what's going on here?
I would assume. Probably money, and also, does it fucking make sense?
No, not really.
For the BMF? Like...
No. Now, like I mentioned the other day, I think that they're okay with... it, so then they can take the BMF and just put it on whatever.
Yeah.
Like, whatever needs to be
next,
made a little bigger.
Yeah, yeah. Just add a little spice to something.
Like, for example, if Sean's out, Andricus is out, if that happens, then we go whoever for the BMF on that card or something to save the card type of deal.
Yeah.
So. But I think, obviously you could say it doesn't make sense from the standpoint that Dustin's beat him twice.
Yeah.
But I'm sure another part of why this is taking so long is the trying to go to New Orleans, get an arena, all that stuff. They announced that Smoothie King Arena is where they're going, which I'm assuming is the Pelicans.
You may be right on that.
I'm guessing that's what it is. So I don't see how it doesn't happen. I think it's probably locked in for the most part right here. But
and Dustin probably fucked up going on, being on talk shows and shit, and not, instead of just saying I have no idea, Chael coaxed it out of him and was like, I'm not saying nothing.
I mean, it's like you can't, in today's MMA world, you can't just explode some story, some fight onto people. We hear about everything beforehand because these insiders are insane. I don't know how they do it, but
there's people, there's so much money being thrown around. I'm gonna throw you some extra cheese if you give me something good. Yeah.
So I don't know, that New Orleans card, I'm interested to see what they do with that one, because obviously Dustin and Max, that they could headline. I guess they could headline a pay-per-view. I was gonna say they could headline a fight night, but it's a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So there's got to be another fight above them, right?
Above them,
like a title fight in the main event.
Yeah, it would have to be an actual title fight.
But I could also see them not needing it.
Yeah, they could definitely headline it.
Yeah,
for sure. But I could understand why a pay-per-view, you almost always got to have a title fight or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There's only been a few times, maybe a handful of times that they've done a non-title fight main event or non.
Well, I guess this is
real title fight,
BMF belt. So
interested to see how that works. I get this is another kind of rumor here. Peter Yan versus Umar in the works for October.
Yeah, Yan called him out.
That is so far away.
Yeah, that's see, this is the weird thing with the Russians and their call out. Hey, me fight you in 2 years or 8 months from now. Let's fight.
Verbal agreement is, I guess, them saying on Twitter, "Yeah, I'm down," type of thing. So this is the little less of a story here than. And
Jan could say, because in October, wouldn't that be in Abu Dhabi or around that time?
May. Wow, they don't even have them announced. I mean, so they got one in Dubai.
Okay, July,
and then UFC 320 Guadalajara. That's Noche, but they don't. Tabology doesn't have any other ones listed. They've the Abu Dhabi one's coming up, isn't it?
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah,
Azerbaijan. Well, Dubai's Abu Dhabi, isn't it?
I think. Yeah, that's probably
okay. So, yeah, I don't know. That's. I mean, I guess it's either probably on a big pay-per-view or in the Middle East somewhere.
Yeah.
So
he called him out. He's probably giving him time to heal his hand too, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they really should do it on this Abu Dhabi card though. Honestly, July 26th. But we'll see. Okay. According to Chael P, Jones versus Aspinall has a date.
Did he say what date?
I don't think so. I didn't see the video. I just saw a post about it. Okay, so the quote, I am confident, this is from Chael, I am confident enough to tell you that the fight is done. The fight is agreed all the way down to the date. John Jones did not duck this fight. I wish he did. I'd love to bury him. I can hear Chael saying it.
Yeah.
John Jones did not duck this fight. And let's parlay this story with the next one that the UFC, this is what, about a week ago now, the UFC's negotiation window has opened for their next TV deal.
Yeah.
Is Jones versus Aspinall, has it never been more important to get that done right now for this TV deal to just have a huge fight, to just sell to these Prime and Netflix and say, hey, look at this. We got this fight booked, guys.
Yeah, unless Jones is really playing hardball and saying, I'm waiting for a TV deal to see how much the TV deal is. That way I can negotiate how much money I'm going to get.
Yeah, I would say they don't get any of it, do they? The fighters, I don't.
I'm gonna show they don't get any of it. Like, I don't. I guess
know.
it depends on the pay-per-views. I know they get like pay-per-view points and stuff like that. But Dana has also talked about going away from pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just feel like they're going to be worth a lot to a provider regardless, I think. Yeah. But like if they have a big one on the books, even though it won't be on Netflix or Amazon, it'll be on ESPN through the rest of this year. But just to get the big fight booked and take that into the negotiation period and say, look, hey, everyone's talking about this big fight. We got it booked now. So you want to work with us because we can do this type of stuff. So
the thing is, how long will it be until they fight? If they don't fight this year, then
it would be.
Yeah.
That maybe that's the plan. I think that's a long time. But
you never fucking.
It's never
know.
too long for John. But yeah, I don't know. I've been saying that they're going to go to Netflix because they're owned by TKO, who owns the WWE, who's all over Netflix now. But I also saw a post, could be complete BS, I don't know, but it said Netflix potentially not interested in like the price to get the UFC. Netflix has their hand in a lot of cookie jars right now. Like they got a lot of stuff on there now, but it's just hard to find a bigger company, I guess.
Maybe they're saying they're not interested in the price because maybe what if there's a chance they can't handle it, the demand for it,
like streaming wise, or
like for example the Jake Paul Tyson fight.
Yeah, that would be a problem. It's hard to even imagine what the UFC on Netflix would look like. Like,
it'd be fucking weird.
I hate the ESPN Plus app, but I kind of wish they would stay. I don't think that's possible now, but
yeah, I wish they would stay too, because they are a premier sport. Like ESPN is supposed to be where it's at, but
yeah,
money talks.
Yeah. All right. Last couple here. Talked about PFL earlier. That card that we talked about during that, they interviewed Dakota Ditcheva, and she said that she will be returning this summer. Obviously, that's not going to be a part of any tournament. No idea who it's going to be against. no idea who they even have on their roster that it could be against.
She needs to come
Here,
come on over.
I'd love her.
Yeah,
she's great.
just come on over, hang out a bit.
So yeah, I mean, she's like the biggest star they got by far.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you.
Knocks everyone out, and looks like that. It's crazy. And then last but not least, if I had a breaking news button, I'd hit it. At 4:59, so 2 hours ago, Ilya Taporia said the camp has begun. Who's he talking about?
There's so many. I don't know if it's Charles, because Charles came out and said he didn't want to do that. Doesn't make sense. He wants to fight for the belt.
Yeah.
And the only way he fights for the belt is if it's against. I could see him going against Taporia for the belt if Islam vacates
and goes up. I guess
goes up.
Yeah.
If Bilal loses to Jack,
right?
But fuck, there's so many things that have to happen for stars have to align.
It's these lightweights. Like, none of them want to fight Ilya.
Oh no, I mean, especially the guys right there at the top that have the opportunity to fight for a belt. I know we talked about it last time we recorded with Gaethje being up there, Sarukian, Oliveira. All these guys are like, I want to fight for the belt, which I know they would. I know, like, if you got offered to Gaethje, he'd be game, but
yeah,
he's the only one I'm like absolutely confident. It's like, okay,
and that's another champ that does not fight. Islam,
yes,
he takes forever. So not all these guys they're not just going to be able to wait until they get the call. So some of them are going to have to fight in between.
Yeah, which is frustrating for them, but
yeah,
when you're champ, you get to call shots, I guess. So.
I figured Oliveira, of all people, would be down.
I thought he would too, but I think just how he wants to get back at Islam. He wants that back so bad.
Yeah, I love Charles. I hope he does do it, but I also like Ilya a lot, and I want to see him in there with the top guys because he deserves that. Yeah, if not the top guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, if you take out two legends like he did in the fashion that he did, then you're moving up. Yeah, we'll fight the champ, but the champ in that division has to be willing as well, and that's where it gets tough. I don't know, but I like how he is being kind of cryptic with it. Camp has begun.
Yeah, he knows. I mean, he is a little cringy and not. He kind of tries to be Connor a little bit sometimes, but like he does, I think, know what he's doing with this business stuff and promoting himself. And obviously, he's got the most important part, which is what you do inside the cage, also. So
exactly.
Any other news that you want to talk about?
I don't think so. It was kind of quiet on my whole, Twitter or X feed. So
yeah. Yep.
Today at least.
We'll probably next week we'll have like 80 stories to talk about, 80 new fights
probably
after the huge UFC Kansas City card.
Yeah, we're gonna break some records.
A lot to talk about. You ready to get into the card?
I'm ready.
All right. So again, like I said earlier, we will be there. If you will be there, let us know in the comments. We'll hang out.
Hit us up. We'll sign some babies.
Sign some babies.
Do whatever we got to do.
So the prelims. So we're going to touch on the kind of the important ones here, but the last time
we saw her,
the UFC was in Kansas City, that we were there, and the first fight of the night was Jocelyn Edwards, and she won what was it? I think she won
split
a robbery split decision.
Yeah,
she was on the right side of it.
Yeah, she shouldn't have won.
Yeah. Now this time around, we get Jocelyn Edwards again, who is like trains like out in Vegas and is from like some weird country, like. Not weird. Not saying your country is weird if you're from there, but some country that not a lot of people are. Panama. I don't know a single other UFC fighter from Panama.
Holy belly button.
Yep. And trains. I guess trains. It looks like California Kings MMA. But regardless, nothing to do with Kansas City, and she's fought there twice now.
She loves KC. Don't know why.
Big Chiefs fan, I heard.
And she's fighting the absolute track star of
Chelsea Chandler. Somehow she's like won UFC fights too, which is crazy.
I can't.
She's beat some Josiane Nunes and Yulia Stolyarenko, so not really anything to be real proud of there. Lost to Yana Santos, lost to Norma. Norma's great. Yana, I've never been much of a Yana believer.
Yeah.
So
I love Norma.
Oh yeah, Norma's great. So yeah, that'll be interesting at least. This one came together late.
Mm-hmm.
Timmy Twilight, 0-2 in the UFC, looked horrible his last one. He's fighting this Roberto Romero guy who debuted on short notice against David Onama, who we'll talk about in a minute, and kind of
look good.
Yeah, like he hung in there at the very least. And I like this guy. He goes forward. He's willing to bang it out. Timmy Twilight, not as much of a fan of personally. And this came together kind of late notice. So I don't know. We'll see about that one.
UFC just kind of looked at the Romero. Was like, this guy's game. We like his style.
Yep.
See what he can do.
They always put guys that have fought each other on the same cards over and over and over. It's weird how they do that. Love this fight too.
Mm-hmm.
Jacqueline Amarim versus Polyana Viana. Both really cute. Amarim,
super.
I think Amarim's got a dominator. She's really good.
Yeah, I'll enjoy watching that.
Polyana kind of does some dumb stuff in there sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, fight IQ kind of goes out the window for her.
And she's not training with Pereira anymore, so.
Oh, I bet you there was some
cardio work going on.
Cardio work that just really someone caught feelings over.
Yeah. Her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over that big, huge Brazilian
head. Speaking of kind of late notice or late ads to this card, Damon Blackshear, we talked about this fight a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting Alatang Hai Lee. I like Blackshear a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on Alatang Hai Lee, but I'm picking Blackshear here.
Yeah, he's that one's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that one. Blackshear's an athlete, guys. I don't know something about him. I just like watching him. He's just fun.
He's nasty. Like he's nasty on the mat too. Like he's a good wrestler, good grappler, but not like a boring one. He like hits twisters on guys and like it has a really fun grappling style.
Mr. No Punch.
Yeah, speaking of, I guess you could say fun styles, but literally you could just cut his arms off. Yeah, he doesn't need them.
You don't need them.
Chris Gutierrez, who also fought in Kansas City last time we were there, lost to Pedro Munoz. He's fighting John Castaneda. I kind of like Castaneda. He's kind of, we know where he's at as far as the hierarchy, but he brings it. I like him. That'll be interesting. Okay, so we got to talk about this. I guess I should have mentioned this on the news probably, but Ahmad Hassanzada was supposed to make his UFC debut on this card against Evan Elder. Shout out to Evan Elder from St. Louis. Instead, Ahmad Hassanzada, like 1 week before this, decided to ruin his UFC career, more than likely. But we'll see. Arrested for alleged SM against I don't know if that's the right word, with a minor.
Yeah. If it is true, then he's, the dirt of the dirt.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. But you know how the world works, all that shit, so I hope it isn't true and it's some bullshit and he gets back and does his thing. But if it is true, then die slow.
I don't know if it really matters if it's true or not, because we've seen the UFC cut ties with guys for lesser offenses than this. Yeah. Jesse Taylor tore up a hotel room or something. They cut him. If this is true, he's for sure never coming back to the UFC. He may never come back already.
Yeah.
So that's, he was about to make his UFC debut.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't even made his debut yet. And, well, literally 1 week before that happens. The good news, Gage Young, who trains, his coach is our boy, Zach Cummings, local guy. He steps in on short notice, and Gage Young on the Contender Series looked good.
Yeah, he did. He lost that. It was a close decision.
Close decision. Didn't get signed, obviously. He's stepping in here against Evan Elder. I hate that they're fighting each other, but I hope it's a banger, and I hope it's like 5 the night.
Yeah, make your money, boys. I'm excited for you. Gage, obviously, local guy. We're pulling for you. Zach, do your thing. Put that voodoo on him and show him your, what you do.
Yeah. And other than that, we got a couple prelim storylines, the last 2 fights, and we'll go through these in relative short order, hopefully. But I'm going to start with my storyline. Cameron Simon versus Malcolm Wellmaker at bantamweight. Simon hasn't fought since March. We all know what happened there. He got the unfortunate task of fighting Peyton Talbot when Peyton Talbot was like just before the UFC decided to just hammer the hype train of Peyton Talbot. And Talbot destroyed him.
Yeah.
It was ugly.
Yeah, he made it look easy.
Everything he threw landed, it seemed like. And
Simon, everybody was high on him too, even before that. And Peyton,
Simon came into the UFC, he went 3-0, first 3 fights. And yeah, like you said, he was kind of a guy that we were like, man, he may be the next hype train. And then ran into C-Rod. C-Rod did what C-Rod does. Mixed the martial arts, beat him kind of everywhere. And then obviously the Talbot fight. I think this is a really interesting fight for both of these guys as kind of a litmus test for both of them, because for Simon, I think the stakes are really high. If he loses this guy, unless it's some crap stoppage or something, that's probably going to completely kill the top 10 aspirations. 3 in a row, lose to a debutante. That's bad. The stakes aren't as high for Wellmaker, but I am really interested to see how he does here, because he's never been in there with a guy that has fought the caliber of guys that Simon has. Not even close.
Yeah.
But Wellmaker seems to have a lot of talent. I like him. He literally, like, probably last week was pipe fitting. He literally is a pipe fitter still. And he's getting ready to make his UFC debut, still working that full-time job. He's actually, he was born in St. Louis.
Okay.
Trains at a small gym in Augusta, Georgia. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. The small gym thing, best guy in the gym type deal. We'll see. 8-0, and I think, again, the stake's not as high, but if he can get by Simon, that's a big deal. Really good job. I'm honest, he seems pretty well rounded, but I think he likes to strike a little bit. Simon, we know Simon, high output, 6 highest significant strikes landed per minute among active bantamweights, 5.54 significant strikes per minute landed.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And just is really busy. Now, again, we've seen him walk on to a lot of big shots. He had a little bit of maybe a life-changing beating last time out. So I think the real question here is what Simon do we get? Is he just right back to it, or is he going to be a little gun shy?
Yeah, I don't know if we get necessarily gun shy, but maybe just a little bit more defensively sound.
Yeah,
I'd probably get that guy. And obviously we know the guy's talented. He's got strikes. I mean, he's pretty crisp.
Yeah.
He just went up against a guy who had all the hype on him and was also a badass and who also ran into a derailment of his own.
Yeah.
It's just how the game goes.
Right.
So, there's levels to this. I think Simon could be, obviously he's going against this Wellmaker guy that's pretty skilled himself. I mean, everybody nowadays, if you're coming in, you're skilled.
Right.
You have to be skilled in some sort of fashion. And usually you can't be a one-way show, you know. You got to be able to do it all. And I don't know. I think I think he'll get back on track with this. Short notice guy. I think he'll be all right.
Well, I don't even think it's short notice.
Oh, I thought you said it was.
No.
Oh, okay.
But so just to talk about Wellmaker real quick, like I said, good job, likes to box, kind of does a little bit like Philly Shell, kind of the defense where he turns his head, the punch goes by, like he does some stuff like that. I don't know if I love it really. He clearly has one punch knockout power. He did it on the Contender Series, just KO'd a guy, one punch, knocked him out. And Simon will come to him, like he will, you know, if he does what he normally does, come to him. But I think Simon, I think he needs to obviously clean the defense up a little bit, not get hit as much. But I also think he needs to be busy here. I'm not seeing Wellmaker as taking him down and holding him down a lot. We'll see. I'm not seeing it. I think Simon's going to be busy. He's not going to take a step back from the last fight at all.
Yeah, I think even if I thought you had said that it was a short notice, but even without the short notice, I still think Simon gets back on track here and gets it done. Probably, now, this Wellmaker could surprise us if he's got dynamite in his hands. All it takes is one shot.
He does, and like I said, he seems pretty well rounded. Likes to clinch a little bit. Last thing for me, odds. The odds really surprised me, honestly, and it kind of makes me wonder if I'm not seeing, if I didn't watch enough tape on Wellmaker, because he's minus 115, minus 105. Simon, obviously, it's a pick 'em, but I figured Simon would be the favorite.
Yeah, I think that probably has to be from the dismantling he got from Talbot,
who was, not the exact same situation as Wellmaker, but was pretty new to the UFC at that point also.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think I like Simon as long as he, honestly doesn't change a ton.
Yeah, just get a little bit more defensively sound and keep doing what you do.
Yeah. I'm interested in that one, though. I do like Wellmaker, and I hope he shows a lot in this. I hope we're like, wow.
Yeah.
Like he's actually really good, but we'll see. Your low-key banger is Matt Schnell and Jimmy the Brick Flick.
The fucking Brick, man. Yeah, we got Matt Danger Schnell versus the Brick over here. Really, for me, this one, obviously these guys, they're older. They fought some guys.
They've both retired at one point.
Probably in, the most, with all due respect, should have stayed.
Yeah.
I called this the Battle of the KOs. Because now for the Brick, it's been a little bit, I think, since he got KO'd. Couple years.
Yeah.
So
2023.
Yeah. So, but when he got KO'd, they were gross.
And it didn't. Who was it? Was it Costa that got him with low kicks?
I think so.
I think he destroyed his leg with low kicks and then TKO'd him.
Yeah. So I think he's got 5 losses by getting knocked out. The last one he got knocked out was Urseg, I believe, and it was disgusting. It looked bad. The referee came up to him and said
5 of his 7 UFC losses are TKOs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the guy, they're both skilled in their own right. They can strike. They can. They only had a couple wins via knockout themselves. They're more of a.
But Jimmy wants to grapple.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to want to grapple. Will he do it? I don't know. I think it'd be fun for them to stand and see what we do. But the Brick likes to lay, and
I don't know if he can grapple. I don't know. I don't know if Schnell's gonna get him down.
No, I don't think so either. This one's just really, it's without having just absolute shit on these guys. I'm not, overwhelmed by this fight. It's they're both skilled. Can't trust chins or shins, so it just really. who's going to touch who first? Definitely Schnell is the better striker. Obviously, the Brick is better at grappling, but I think he's going to struggle with Schnell's takedown defense and everything, and his counter grappling. So, I'm going to go with Schnell on this one, even though I can't really trust him.
Yeah, I think he hits him with some big shots. Schnell, not a big time finisher. He has a bunch of subs actually, but in the UFC, only 3 subs.
Yeah. So this one's really I could see, especially if they lose by a KO or something. If not both of them are retiring.
Just double knockout.
Yeah.
I think Schnell should probably kick his leg. I'd say.
Yeah.
It would be a good idea because Flick did not know what switching stances meant.
No. So Schnell. I think it's just going to get it done. I think he's a better overall fighter, all around. Old heads. I respect the guys who've been here a while, but it's just, to me, sometimes I hate these kinds of fights because I'm like, God, guys, let's hang it up.
Well, and so real quick, Flick is from Oklahoma, not too far from Missouri here, and Schnell, I think, is like married to a chicken from St. Louis. I want to say, but why did Schnell come back?
I think it has to do with these guys that have been doing this their whole lives.
Yeah,
they're not these especially these guys, these type of fighters, and where they're at in the rankings and everything. They didn't make a ton of money, not life-changing money to where they're okay to retire.
When the faucet shuts off, you're like,
yeah,
oh no,
I got to go do what I know to do, even if it means. And honestly, we could probably see these guys in other promotions after they leave the UFC, which is sad because that's a lot of brain damage.
It's surprising that Flick is actually still in this promotion, honestly.
Yeah.
But
this one, without shitting on them, respect the guys. You guys are motherfuckers because you can go out there and do you make the walk every time. So respect to that. Fight doesn't really blow my socks off or anything. Hopefully they both leave with their brains intact.
Yep.
And maybe a draw. I don't know.
But we're gonna be there, so somebody should get knocked out.
Yeah. That would be cool. If I'm there with a beer in my hand, that'd be cool.
Unintact.
Heads need to roll.
All right, so you're up first on the main card according to Tapology.
All right. I've got Ikram Aliskerov. He is fighting Andre Muniz.
So this was supposed to have already happened.
Mm-hmm. And then Muniz had some passport issues, it looks like. And he's the heavy favorite at that time. I don't know what he is now. I didn't even look at it. Oh, and now
Wait. Muniz was the heavy favorite? No, this is Ikram.
Oh, Ikram. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. So
Minus,
he was minus 550. Now he's minus 625.
which, man, I'll let you talk, but I feel like Aliskerov's been kind of overrated.
I think that I agree with you to an extent. I think he was given a little too much too soon with Bobby Nux.
Yeah.
And Bobby Nux did what Bobby Nux does and fucked him up. Muniz, for me, old vet. He's another one of those guys on what kind of Muniz are you going to get that night? Because he's fought some big names and he's looked well and beat them. And then he's fought some guys where he looked like absolute dog shit. And not taking anything away from those fighters, but he didn't look like the Muniz that we've seen before, I think Jung Young Park, that's the turtle, right?
Yep.
I thought the turtle won that fight, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I thought the turtle won that fight. But this one, I think it's more of a maybe to get Aliskerov. This is more the level he needs to be fighting at right now. Maybe the UFC's kind of like, all right, we'll see.
Jesus Christ.
Let's throw you out there. Yeah, holy canceled fights.
Wow.
He really loves to
Typical Dagestani. It's probably none of them are him.
Yeah, they like to just leave you out in the dry. So This one I think could be a fun fight, especially if we get a good Muniz and Alaskarov comes back and is ready to showcase what he can do, because he has been in some exciting fights and shown some great striking, and he's pretty savvy all the way around. He does get himself in trouble and can get hit. And Muniz's got power himself. He's not necessarily known as a big striker.
I've always thought he was actually like a decent striker.
Yeah, no, I think he might be a little underrated.
And then I wanted to like him, but he just kind of, you can make him question whether he wants to be there.
Exactly.
Like, just kind of bully him, and in the case of like Brendan Allen and Paul Craig, like kind of beat him at his own game, and he'll find the door.
Yeah, he checks out.
Which
if I think Alaskarov could do it to him if he comes out like, do what got you to the dance. Let's stick with that. I think he kind of gets a little bit of a rebound here.
Will he grapple with Muniz? 15 of 24 wins for Muniz are subs.
I would think that he is not going to grapple. He's going to strike.
Yeah.
But
I hope so.
He does get hit, and Muniz has shown some pretty good striking. I think is he training with the nerds?
Muniz?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was.
I'm pretty sure I talked about the nerds, he had moved there.
I don't think Tapology would say that. I don't think. But I'm sure like on Instagram or something, it'd probably show it. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he needs. Yeah, he won his last fight, but like I think the expectations were pretty high for him, and he's kind of not really lived up to them.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be a fun fight. I do have Alaskarov. I think he's gonna get it done. I could see him finish it probably late in second.
Knock him out.
Maybe not just out cold, but I could see a TKO.
Yeah.
Little ground and pound.
I like
action.
it. I'm probably, I've never been a big Ikram guy personally, so I'm probably rooting for Muniz a little bit, but I'm not. It's not gonna break my heart if he loses.
Yeah, I felt bad for Ikram a little bit because they just threw him to the wolves. Here's Bobby Nux, and he got fucked on.
That was like Bobby on the come up type of knockout. Exactly. Like he hasn't really done that to anybody in a long time, and it's just Ikram had to be the guy.
Yep.
That it on that one?
Yep.
Okay, next up, Randy Rude Boy Brown versus Nicholas. What's his name? Something funny too, isn't it? Danish Dynamite, Dalby. I like Dalby. I've always liked Dalby so much. He's like from Norway, born in Denmark, not Norway, same area. The Danish Dynamite, duh, idiot.
Big dumb.
But he's just like, he's unique. I mean, he's got these huge wings tattooed on his back. He's got like negative 3% body fat.
Yeah, he's always just.
He's 40 years old. He has insane cardio, and he breathes so loud on purpose. Like he's always like, like it's like a thing that he like has trained to do or something. But obviously, kind of a traditional, karate type of guy. Which I actually, he doesn't do like anything where he's like breaking boards types kicks, but like I think the timing of his kicks and the kind of the awkwardness of his striking actually is really effective. He throws like a lot of weird, like, he'll throw like kind of weird timed kicks where like the leg comes up and then the kick whips like later than it normally would, and he does like a 1-1 and then like kind of a weird timing with the 2, but he like chops with it. He does like a chopping 2 and stuff like that, and really again has great cardio, can push you up against the fence and like try to really wear you out. Obviously coming off of a split decision loss, we're not factored in. They both actually are coming off split decision losses, him and Randy. Renat just was better at wrestling, kind of like Renat does. Randy, on the other hand, kind of like the opposite of old Danish Dynamite.
Yeah.
He's super tall, super good striker. Almost, he is a good striker, but he almost like he thinks he's better striker than he is sometimes because he plays around there a lot.
Yes, he does.
And he has been chinned a couple times, twice, knocked out twice, but has gotten dropped and hurt quite a bit in the UFC. Honestly, had a pretty competitive fight against Battle.
He did.
Lost a split to Brian Battle. Actually hurt Battle in the third.
People thought Randy won that.
Yeah, I watched it back and I didn't really think so.
Yeah.
Battle. He just, and this is kind of maybe something we'll see Dynamite try to do here is Battle clinched him against the fence a lot and worked in the clinch, kind of wore him out.
Battle missed weight too.
He did.
Yeah.
But my big problem here for Dalby is he's just not very explosive. He doesn't really have a lot of pop and doesn't really have a lot of quick twitch, and that's Randy's thing, man. Move around and just pot shot you from the outside, touch you up. Randy, not much of a finisher himself. In the UFC, 3 KOs, 3 subs, 7 decisions. In the UFC, is that right? Let me double check that. Yeah, no, that's right. So I think this is kind of the perfect opponent for Randy, honestly. Like a guy that's just gonna be a little slower, not gonna hit you real hard with anything probably, and you can move around the big cage because it'll be in the big cage and just touch him up from the outside. I think probably Randy by decision here, but I'm rooting for 40-year-old Dynamite to get it done.
Yeah, that would be a fun one. Like you said, Randy can get touched, so you never know. Danish Dynamite.
And last thing, Danish Dynamite, all 4 of his UFC losses are decisions, including our guy that we mentioned earlier, Zach Cummings, beat him by decision in 2016 in his first UFC stint. So that's it for me. I'm interested. Randy's a fun guy to watch. I like Randy. Yeah. I think if the fight sucks, it'll probably be because Dalby's getting his way a little bit more than we would
pushing him against the fence and all that. But Randy can be fun if he doesn't get too big-headed in his striking and everything, and does use his quickness, and he picks his shots. He'll be able to get it done.
Yeah. All right, on to you. This is a fun one.
This one will be a fun one. We've got Michelle Pereira, Mr. Crazy, backflips, parkour type dude.
Mr. Less Crazy.
Against Mr. Less Crazy.
No, I'm saying Pereira.
Oh, Less Crazy. Yeah. He is less crazy.
Yeah.
He's definitely kind of calmed himself down. It's probably taken a toll on him, or his coaches are like, hey, all right, guy.
His cardio used to suck, too, because of that stuff, it seemed like.
And, his last fight against Fluffy.
Oh, you're right.
Michelle Pereira against Fluffy.
Yeah.
He just was exhausted.
The 5th round,
it was the 5th round. He did make it that far, but he was, damn near dead. Obviously, exciting guy, has power, will explode on you from anywhere, really. Just, whether it's jumping from the cage, Superman style, or a backflip while you're laying on your back, it doesn't matter. The guy's fun to watch. The guy just, he's an absolute monster physically. He's strong. Obviously, his weakness is his gas tank. He's going against a guy in Abus Magomedov. This guy has fought couple killers. He can get a little overwhelmed when it comes to good strikers getting in his face. We saw that with Strickland and everything. Obviously, Strickler is one of the better strikers.
Strickland one was bad.
Yeah, he looked real bad. Got in his grill, just overwhelmed him with punches. I mean, he looked like tired after the first
and that was
round.
a main event.
Yeah.
And he was dead in the second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just looked absolutely dead in the second after that first round because, I mean, Sean puts on a pace. He pushes forward, but this was like absurdly tired. Against, obviously lost to Baralho. Killer, did go the 4-3
Baralho
with
grapple in that one?
I think he did.
Yeah.
But this guy is sneaky on the ground. If you do get him to the ground, you better know your shit and not leave or make any mistakes and leave your head out, an arm out, or something, because he will sub you. The guy's got pop in his hands too. I think he's got 12 knockouts or 14.
Yeah, he's got some. He can do some flashy stuff too.
Yeah,
some spinny.
Yeah, no, he's pretty crafty up there. That's why I think this one will be a fun one. This probably, I could see it not making it to the bell. Someone's gonna get put down.
I saw a thing with a post that said the UFC really put the two worst cardio guys against each other. Like,
yeah, or it might turn into an absolute snooze fest because they're both so dog ass tired.
Yeah,
they're just laying on each other. Hopefully not. I don't think it will. I think someone's probably getting finished. If I'm going to pick one, because I don't have a dog in the fight. What does it say? He's a favorite?
-165.
Michelle Pereira is. Honestly, I'm not mad at going with Magomedov.
Really?
Yeah.
That's who you're picking?
I thought it was going to be a little bit closer. It's not like it's a huge spread or anything, but I could see Magomedov catching Pereira in something, just because Pereira makes so many fucking mistakes with his craziness.
It's true.
I could see him catching something. Now, they both got pop in their hands. It may be an absolute slugfest, and someone's going to sleep. But I think Pereira hasn't been knocked out in a while. I don't think.
Well, the Hernandez.
It was ground and pound, but you know what I mean. Like that was more of exhaustion.
Before that, he won 2, 4, 6, 8 in a row.
Yeah, last one illegal knee to Diego Sanchez.
So 9.
Yeah. So
and real quick, he had this 3-fight stretch right here. He beat Petrosky, Oleksiejczuk, Peteria 3 minutes and 1 second combined.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
2 subs. Well, yeah, 2 subs
from
the crazy flying knee guy.
Yeah, this one could be fun. I may be on the wrong picking side, but I think I don't know. I don't trust Pereira.
Yeah.
I just think that he's gonna make a mistake and maybe blow his wad faster than Magomedov will.
I think as long as Pereira, I don't think Pereira is really going to respect Abus that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he's going to feel like I can get after this guy and put it on him. I think if Abus, like Abus could, outlast him if he had good cardio himself.
Yeah,
but he kind of doesn't. So I don't know. I think Pereira's probably going to just let it go a little more, back him up, hit him.
Yeah, I think it. I hope at least, maybe not. I think, but I hope it is a fun one and it doesn't turn into a sloppy, we're tired as fuck mess. So, but yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's a really good one actually. That could be like a big finish there. All right, moving on. Another interesting fight of the night, maybe.
Maybe. I'm excited for this.
We know one side of this is for sure going to make it crazy, and we're talking about Giga Chikadze versus David Onama. First and foremost, the odds really surprised me in this one. -190 Onama. I guess if you're looking at age and probably, if you run the numbers of 9+ year, whatever the age difference is.
Yeah.
Younger fighter wins 60-something% of the time, I'm sure is what the stat would be. But the reason this surprises me, the odds surprise me, is the same reason that this is going to be awesome. It's because David Onama is just a war machine.
Yeah.
And not the Christy Mack one.
Yeah.
This guy, and he gets hurt and dropped in every fight.
He finds a fucking way.
And he is a dog and a half. And he he's had some cardio issues in the problem. That's kind of what happens sometimes when you get hit a lot, like in the Nate Train one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's got bad cardio. I think he just got hit a lot in that fight. But, man, he makes every fight really fun. And, we mentioned Roberto Romero?
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned him earlier. He, had some success against Onama, but kind of like, I think you could put anybody against Onama, and he's going to get beat up early, and he's going to make it at least competitive late. And that's what he does every time. Giga, on the other hand, he's not big into the wars.
No.
Obviously, comes from a Glory kickboxing background, and has fought in Glory like quite a bit actually. So obviously, a guy like that is going to want to. If he could have the fight his way, it would be okay. We're going to stand here pretty flat-footed at kicking range, and we're just going to kind of see who can outmaneuver who.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to mix the martial arts a whole lot. Although, in his last 8 fights, he's only been taken down twice, both by Calvin Kattar. So I don't know. You could look at that a couple different ways. I think he could say, "Oh wow, he went 8 fights, only taken down twice in the UFC."
And the guy to do it was Calvin Kattar.
Kattar took him down twice, so that's weird. Obviously, Giga. The other argument would be, well, he's fought literally like all strikers. I mean, Arnold Allen, Bruce Leroy, Kattar, Barboza, Cub. But regardless, he seems to have a decent takedown defense game.
Mm-hmm.
He can defend some takedowns. He's also a guy that, and I feel like I've mentioned this sometimes, is like started in the UFC not doing real well. He won, but 2 split decision wins in a row. And as the competition got better, he started whipping everybody.
Yeah.
Unanimous decision after that against Erwin Rivera. Unanimous decision Omar Morales. Jamie Simmons TKO'd him. I don't really know who that is. And then Cub and Edson Barboza TKO'd both of them.
Mm-hmm.
He loses splits to Brandon Davis and Jamal Emmers. TKO's Cub Swanson and Edson Barboza. Doesn't make any sense. The Kattar one, he got his ass kicked. And in Arnold Allen, I think Arnold kind of figured out how to read what Giga wanted to do, but also go forward and avoid Giga. He's not much of a combination striker. One at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Does not like getting backed up against the fence. So, yeah, again, Arnold just figured out how to pressure him and not get caught himself. With all this being said, my whole word vomit here, I really don't know how this is going to go.
I think it's going to be a fun one. I mean, obviously with the Onama on one side of it, that guy's fights are always fun. But we're getting a little bit. It's been he fought in July. Giga was his last fight. Yeah. So it's been a little bit. Tends to take a little bit of layoffs.
Yeah. Well, and he was I guess that was before that. He was supposed to fight Emmett, and he had that. There's a video of that gross pec injury, blew his whole pec apart.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he is. Did I say his age? 36. So, Onama, now that I think about it, he's 30, so he's not super young, but I think this is like another kind of. I talked about Simon and Wellmaker, obviously both more experienced than either of them, but similar situation where this is like the big step up for Onama. We could see Giga just hurt him bad and to knock him out. I wouldn't be surprised. Giga's a high-level striker. Or we could see Onama maybe take him down, but is he going to do that in Kansas City? Is he going to be boring in Kansas City?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I'm not putting that juju out.
I think he's going to get in his face and slug it out with him.
Yeah.
Giga doesn't love doing that. And it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. This one I'm excited for.
Yeah. And last, one more stat real quick I forgot to mention. David Onama, 5.07 strikes absorbed per minute, which is a lot. I think he lands 5.3, so not, a little bit more. But for reference, The best among active featherweights is 1.05, and he absorbs 5.07.
He's willing to get hit to actually hit someone. Yep. So I respect it, but also he's probably gonna. Who knows? This may be the fight where he needs to learn that you don't get dropped by a certain people. You just go out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can't do that. You can't afford to do that against some guys. Giga, I mean, you know, it is obviously can knock people out. He's done it, but like I said, he's not going to out volume people.
No. He picks his shots and knows when to put them in.
So I think Onama's going to he's got to make it ugly and dirty and slug it out a little bit.
I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I like that a lot. Don't make it boring, David, please. We'll be there. All right, the big co-main.
All right, co-main here. We got Anthony Lionheart Smith versus my guy.
Yeah.
Everybody laughed at me.
You were early to the
Everybody
party.
laughed at me for the old mountain tiger. Ming Yang Zhang. Young killer. Don't go look at his record. That was all early on. We're good. We're ready.
A lot of green in a row here.
Mm-hmm.
2, 4, 8, 10, 11 in a row.
11 in a row. 2-0 in the UFC. And this guy can strike. He's got power. Young killer. He's a fucking mountain tiger.
He's huge, too. And he's pretty, for being Chinese.
Yeah.
6'2".
6'2". That's a big Chinaman.
Yeah, 26.
He's 26 years old. Young killer.
Similar to Anthony Smith, 36.
Bright future. Going against a vet in Lionheart Smith. Anthony, I know I've talked about him. I've always liked Anthony. You know, what I've said about him as of late is he's got one foot out the door. He even came out with a video this past week stating that he always thought he was going to have a bad life and bad career if he never won the belt and all that. And now he's talking about, I've had a great life and a great career and the belt doesn't mean anything. You know, it wasn't as much as I thought it would be. You know,
right.
He's pretty much, to me, was like, you know, I'm at the ladder. I'm at the end. He's doing this as a paycheck. He does well in the booth, you know, talking and everything. He has podcasts he's making money with. This is it. This is the end for Anthony Smith. Although he has surprised us where fights where he was supposed to lose, he's a savvy old vet. You know, black belt on the ground, he can catch you.
And the tiger can get a little excited in there.
Tiger does get a little, he's young, okay?
Yeah.
He's pouncing on everything.
I'm just saying, he could stick his head in there like old Petrino did.
Like Petrino did and get it fucking squeezed off. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Anthony Smith is going to get beat by the Mountain Tiger. I respect Anthony Smith, but I think it's just time to be out with the old and in with the new. And the new being Ming Yang Zhang, the Mountain Tiger.
Anthony Smith pro debut, 2008.
Wow.
What is it?
I was going to be a junior in high school.
Which doesn't really I didn't even do it justice.
No.
That just doesn't even still feel like that was that long ago.
Yeah.
So what's 59th pro fight right here?
Yeah. The guy's been there, done it. He's fought against the best. He's beaten some of them. You know, fought for belt. He's just his last win was Vitor Petrino.
Yep.
And Petrino just gave up, made a stupid mistake, even laughed after he lost.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't believe that just fucking happened. Just like the rest of the world.
And things are going so bad for Anthony Smith that Petrino went out and lost the next fight too.
Yeah.
So it aged worse.
Yeah, real bad. Yeah. He got absolutely his head taken off
by Dustin Jacoby.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not about him.
It was bad, but obviously we've seen what Anthony's done his last two fights. Roman Dolidze, lost the decision and then got starched by Dominic Reyes. You just seen
That
with
one aged
Anthony.
okay.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
aged all right. But what I've just seen in all these fights, except for he is an opportunist, and if you make a stupid mistake, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Or he'll capitalize on it, I should say. He's just a guy. He's old vet out. 1 foot out the door. I think it's just time. I get it. You're making some extra money. You're probably getting big paychecks every fight, to show and all that stuff. At this point in your career, but Mountain Tiger's moving in.
I think. Well, first of all, I think the UFC maybe kind of said, "Hey, either you retire at this Kansas City card because it's not too crazy far from Omaha, where he is from,
Mm-hmm.
or we're not offering you any more fights."
Yeah, and very well could. And I even think some of the broadcasters have even said, like, Anthony's like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Yeah, and it's not. I don't think it's not because they're like, "Oh, you lose too much." It's because he makes a lot of money.
yeah.
And
You make a lot of money. You don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So he's not one of those guys that are struggling. And I think it could be pride too that he's a fighter. He wants to keep fighting. But Ming Yang Zhang,
He's not going to care.
no.
He's not going to respect Anthony at all.
Mountain Tiger, no respect. He's ready to kill.
Oh, it's your retirement fight. I don't speak English.
I don't speak
I don't know
English.
what that means.
I don't know what that means. I'm gonna retire your ass.
Is he going to like finish him bad?
I could see it being pretty bad.
This is like, I mean, I don't care. I know you're an Anthony guy. I'm not. Never really have been. But it's just like so messed up the way they do these guys.
I know.
They always do them like this.
Here's a young killer.
I mean, every vet's like every legend's retirement fight.
You've lost 7 of your last 10. Okay, let's
We want to build some guy off of you.
Mhm.
It always happens like
fight
that.
this scary China guy that nobody believes in,
Yeah.
except for Chad.
Will they believe in him more after he smashes Anthony Smith?
Oh
You think so?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Everyone thinks Anthony sucks.
Yeah, but he come out and do that to a vet, and then you'll get some notoriety.
Cut a
And
promo.
Mountain Tiger.
Cut a big promo.
Yep.
Maybe, hopefully, he does speak a little English now.
That'd be cool. And then he shouts my ass out for backing you up. I've been on the train.
He watches the
Zhang.
show, doesn't he?
I hope so.
I think he watches the
Yeah,
show.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, we're huge in China, so
Minus 530 for Ming Yang Zhang, by the way.
yeah, I'm excited that we get to see him in person because I might make a video. And send it to everybody that ever doubted me on him,
Okay.
including you'll be right next to me. I will send you the video.
I didn't die. I just thought it was funny because we're all talking about guys people have heard of, and you weren't. No. Yeah, definitely send it to the other two for sure. All right, ready for the main event?
Deal.
All
I'm
right, so
excited.
yeah, it's a great. I don't know. I don't remember what the term I used before, but like backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously supposed to be Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree. I was really hoping it'd be that. They could have done much better is with the non pay-per-view putting a good main event on this card. Now, and we're talking about Ian Machado Gary versus Carlos Praches. I think it's like number 7? 7 versus 13. I thought Praches was higher than that. Praches was supposed to fight Jeff Neal on 314. Okay, that was a little while ago. Oh no, that was last card. That's right. Yeah, Miami. So, and Ian Gary wasn't booked, and now this got added maybe 3 weeks ago now. Does that matter that we had a camp for Carlos and not a camp for Ian Gary? Obviously, Ian Gary, I'm sure, was training, but like
he was probably staying in shape, but
he wasn't in a camp.
Yeah. I think it does matter, especially going against a killer in Carlos. But I think Gary is just that dude. Like, and I respect him for taking this fight. Yeah. Always be, backing up what he says. I'll fight anybody.
Yeah.
I respect that. Could be detrimental if he especially if it goes bad day in the office for him. I don't know if it's going to be necessarily. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a fun
It's a
fight.
big risk for Ian for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone kind of knows these guys, but like, Ian Gary, like, I know you're a big fan of his. I'm really not, but I do respect what I do respect about him is that he is very adaptable. He can make reads, and if plan A is not quite working for him, like it wasn't against MVP, he can flip it and go to plan B and wrestle. I think he needs to do that here. Now, and he is a good striker. He's not gonna put himself. He's not gonna take risks on the feet to just allow himself to get knocked out by Carlos Prates like a lot of guys do. They make mistakes and he knocks him out for it. But I don't. Prates is also a guy that's like his presence. He's like Pereira. His presence just like backs these guys up. They don't want to be close to him. He backs him up to the fence and does whatever he wants to him. I guess the big question here is will Ian Gary wrestle, because this is 5 rounds. Prates smokes cigarettes. That wrestling, in theory, is going to get, should get Prates tired. Now, the big problem here is I wrote down Ian Gary, 54% takedown accuracy. That's really good. Carlos Prates, 91% takedown defense. He, and especially in his last one against Neil Magny, who, I guess you could argue isn't a good wrestler, but he wasn't even close to taking Prates down.
No.
And so this is a tough one, because I really, again, Ian Gary is not going to just simply walk onto something like these other guys do. He's a lot smarter than that.
Yeah. He early on when he fought the Leech, or not the Leech,
Keenan Song.
Yeah,
that's...
Sorry, I was looking at the Leech there. He walked into something there, but he got carried away, but he's shown he's grown past that, and
yeah,
he just got a little carried away. I don't think he's going to get carried away with Prates.
No. I mean, we saw even Ian Gary versus Neil Magny. He didn't even engage in anything except for low kicks, which sucked to watch, kind of, but it was smart.
Oh yeah,
it was the easy way. MVP was kind of piecing him up on the feet a little bit.
He said, "All right, I'll take you down."
Took the path of least resistance. So, it's gonna be tough to take Prates down, because he's a fighting nerd. We see what these guys can do. They're hard to take down, and they can snipe your ass in a half second.
Yeah, and it's gonna be fun, because they've been talking mad shit all over Twitter, Instagram.
I am rooting so hard for Prates.
Yeah, I like them both. I love. It's gonna be awesome. I'm just excited to watch it in person.
Yeah,
I'm so fucking stoked.
Now again, this is another one where, well, first of all, Prates, if we're talking about him for a second, he's another guy, kind of like Giga, where it kind of took him a little while in the UFC to really get going, in the sense that, yeah, he was knocking guys out early in his career, but he kind of was like losing and then would knock them out. Now, these guys, they look dumb in there against him.
Yeah.
For example, Trevin Giles was beating him back in February 2024. Knocks him out. And then all of a sudden, the Charles Radke one was that knee, the Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radke. The Leech was I don't know what the Leech was doing. He looked terrible in there.
No, he had stunned him before even the left hook. I think it was a jab or something, and just the Leech was all stumbling around.
It just all game planning that was in his brain just got deleted by that. I mean, he just started doing crazy stuff. Magny, the Magny finish was kind of weird. It was real short punch. It didn't even hardly look like it hit him, but yeah, point being is that it's just, all these fighting nerds guys they're all just starting to do the same thing, and it's just dominate everybody. Everyone looks stupid in there against him. I hope that happens. He's a slight, last I looked, Prates plus 101, so real slight dog, minus 121. Ian Gary, I get it, he's fought better guys. He is a little bit taller. I just looked. I was surprised by that, actually. But Prates isn't just some new young stud. He's had an extensive kickboxing career himself.
Oh yeah,
and is training at the Aura factory. I'm picking him to win.
That's gonna be a tough one. I could see if Machado does, he's gonna have success mixing it up, and that's gonna be his game plan.
Running away.
And bouncing around, staying the outside. Do you think Prochas, if he does win, it's gonna be by a finish or?
I don't know, man. I'm this is like one that I'm having such a hard time like picturing them in there together and like how it's gonna go. I think he probably does knock him out because it's just guys don't survive fights with these fighting nerds anymore, unless you're Bruno Brazil.
Yeah, it's the momentum that the nerds have put together right now. They're riding it fast and hard. Yeah. So,
but again, I think Ian Gary is like kind of an elite game planner, or at least an elite adjuster, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the fight with Shavkat.
Yeah,
he made him look human. Shavkat may have been injured, not fully, 100% at the time.
I think the jury's still out on Shavkat too. Yeah, for me at least. But
yeah. So
still good, impressive though.
Oh yeah, I think I agree with you that Gary can definitely adjust and adapt as the fight's going on with the best of them. So
yeah.
I'm excited. I'm not picking.
Is the crowd? The crowd's gonna be on Prochas, right?
I would. Oh,
because the cuck stuff, everyone kind of turned on Ian Gary.
Yeah, but then that was before the Shavkat.
Yeah, true.
He didn't lose any oral, even losing.
Well, no, he didn't lose it from before the Shavkat fight to after, but I think he had lost a lot before that.
Yeah, with the whole cuck thing.
But he doesn't. Yeah. I respect that he doesn't care.
Yeah, I like that. I thought he brushes it off.
I thought he was kind of a clout chasing Connor type guy, and then when that all happened, he just didn't really care.
Yeah, whatever.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I am just gonna wait until we get there, and
I hope the crowd goes crazy for Prochas.
I think we're gonna get a pop either way from both of them.
Yeah, true. This is a good card.
Yeah, I'm excited, dude.
I haven't looked back at the other ones, that like the St. Louis one last year and then the Kansas City one 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, at least names wise, this is probably the best one.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Because there's a lot of older guys on this card that people know. And yeah. Chris Gutierrez was on the main card last time.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's on the prelims. So best Missouri card ever right here, maybe.
Yeah, I'm excited, dude. It's going to be a blast.
Yep. All right. Anything else on this card?
No, we're going to see it in person. So
screw you. All right. Last but not least, as always, I'm going to tell you guys about a few other events real quick that are going on this coming weekend as well. If UFC Kansas City is not enough for you. All right, Friday, Tough Enough 143 out of Vegas. Good promotion. We've talked about Diego Brandao, featherweight champ over there now. Crazy. Main event, welterweight title fight, 9-1, Ernesto Rodriguez versus 5-2, Mahmoud Fawzi Sebi.
Wow.
Just a name with a horrible ring to it. Just change that or something. The big one here is the co-main, Kai Kamaka versus Josh Weems. Both were in the UFC at one point. Mm-hmm. Kamaka did really well in Bellator, fought in PFL, I think, once or twice as well. Weems fought in the UFC. I think maybe had one UFC fight. Has fought in like Game Bred, Bare Knuckle MMA. Has done a couple of Karate Combat, I think, maybe too. So that's interesting. And then also on the card, Daniel Lacerda, 0-5, won no contest in the UFC. 0-5.
Ouch.
And one of the no contests was against Edgar Chairez, and then he lost him right after that in the first round. So,
ouch.
Get excited because he's on the card too. All right. Moving on to Saturday, Octagon 70 in the Czech Republic. This isn't on Fight Pass, and this is on an internet pay-per-view. Octagon, I like Octagon. It's like kind of the big European promotion. They go to Germany, Czech Republic, that part of the world. They have I think I mentioned this before, but they're having I think 32 man middleweight tournament. Not all one night or anything, but spread out across a bunch of cards. I think it's 32. It may be 16. I could be wrong. Regardless, there's 3 of those tournament fights on here. We talked about in the past Andreas Michailidis, who Pereira flying knee. He's in the tournament.
Okay.
A couple other guys I can't remember off the top of my head that I've heard of, but 3 of the middleweight tournament fights on this card, and then Mallory Martin, who was in the UFC. She went 1-3 in the UFC. She's the strawweight champ over there now. She's defending her belt on that card. Also on Saturday, KSW out of Poland. This is an internet pay-per-view as well. Welterweight title fight, 16-1. Adrian Bartosinski. I'm probably messing that one up. Versus 22-6, Andre Grzebek. Very few vowels in that name. And it's a rematch, by the way. Adrian, 16-1 guy, won via knee bar in the first fight. And I was looking at the Adrian guy. He seems really good. He's got a bunch of knockouts. I think he's got like 11 of his 16 wins or knockouts, I'm wanting to say.
Damn.
Also on this card, Mariusz Pudzianowski, the strongman guy.
Yeah.
Who I'm sure you've seen.
Yeah.
Versus Eddie Hall.
I thought they already fought once.
It says Eddie Hall's 0-0. So
I thought they are boxing, maybe?
Is that probably?
I thought Eddie Hall fought Thor Jorgensen or whatever it is.
Is that the mountain
the
or whatever?
Mountain, yeah, from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, okay, he did.
Okay, so this is okay.
You lose the Thor Jorgensen in boxing. So hey, fight 17-9, Mariusz Pudzianowski. He's literally 17-9, and I thought was he like a champ in KSW at one point? That probably sounds retarded now because.
Wow, I didn't realize he had this many fights.
He was not a champ, but yeah, 17-9. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. So I think Eddie Hall might be in deep trouble here potentially.
I know Eddie Hall does train,
yeah, and
all that stuff, but I thought there was talks of them fighting a while back.
48 years old, Pudzianowski.
Just back when they were on all the roids. Probably still are.
But anyway, so that's kind of a freak show. Like that's like an old Bellator fight right there. Just like some crazy Dada 5000.
Yeah.
And then also on this card, I know a guy that you just loved, Augustus Sakai.
Oh yeah,
he's on this card too. Although I will say, Phil DeFries, you know him, British guy. He was the man over in KSW for a long time, and Sakai, his first non-UFC fight was a decision loss to him. So yeah, I lost, but he did get finished by him. So Sakai's back. Let's go.
Oh, Sakai.
Okay. Also on Saturday, Cage Warriors 188 out of Dublin. Again, they just keep on going. UFC Fight Pass for this one. Welterweight title fight. A lot of welterweight titles on the line this weekend. 8-3 James Sheehan versus 9-2 Justin Burleson. Two of Sheehan's 3 losses. Oban Elliott.
Okay.
And the aforementioned Ian Machado Gary. Those are 2 of his 3 losses. So I've heard of them.
Yeah.
They're pretty good, I think.
It's not something to really be too sad about.
No. And then the challenger, Burlinson, he lost to Johan Lioness on the Contender Series way back in, I think, like 2018 or something. And then light heavyweight title fight on the line, title on the line as well. 11-5-1 James Webb versus 18-9 John Allen. John Allen, who's actually from Brazil, his name doesn't sound like it. He's from Brazil. 0-2 and 1 no contest in the UFC. Losses to terrible guys: Dustin Jacoby, Roman Dolidze.
Oh yeah,
that was for his 0-2.
Also, too, fights you can't really be too sad about.
No.
So,
and then last guy on this card, I want to mention Paddy McCrory, who was on the Ultimate Fighter, lost to Robert Valentin, who I liked a lot. He's on this card as well. Last but not least, Saturday on YouTube in Istanbul, Turkey, Core FC won.
Really?
Core FC. Never heard of this. It's their first event.
Yeah.
And in the main event is Fig's older brother, Francisco, who has had a little run in the UFC too. And they gave him a real easy matchup, 9-0. I'm gonna sound this one out. Dazamaluddin Aliyev out of Dagestan.
Oh,
so see a fig.
Yeah.
Bring you over to Turkey and make you fight the 9-0 Dagestani. Although we see some of these Dagestanis take craps in the middle of the cage sometimes and lose. So.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then last but not least on this card, there's some guys with good records on this card that are kind of from all over the world. So interesting. 0-2 UFC vet. The only reason I put this on here is because I wanted to say his name. Omar Godziev.
Oh.
0-2 in the UFC. He's on this card as well.
Omar Godziev.
I'm probably going to check out Core FC1 just because it's like a new promotion as far as I know. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't heard any rumblings, nothing about it. So,
yeah, Francisco Figueiredo, 9-0. Oh,
doesn't look anything like Fig.
Yeah, Omar Godziev. Anyways, any last thoughts on anything, Chad?
Not really. I mean, obviously, I'm just stoked for Kansas City.
Yes,
that card's going to be a blast. We're going
up Friday, going to weigh-ins.
Yep.
Hopefully,
be my first weigh-ins. I've
the weigh-ins
been to.
The ones there last time were okay. The Max ones, the St. Louis ones kind of sucked.
Mm-hmm.
I guess both kind of sucked. Honestly,
yeah.
They're not real packed. Hopefully, this card will be a little bit more popping with the weigh-ins.
Well, we get there, maybe we get up close.
Yeah.
And then they pull our names from out of the crowd, and we're just like,
Dana just himself comes and gets us.
Yeah, you know what? You look like the real thing. Here's a pass.
We only have one ring girl, so there's extra room on the stage today. So just stand up here. So yeah, hit us up, Dana.
That'd be sick.
No, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm so stoked. This work week's probably gonna drag ass.
Yep.
Because of this weekend.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be a little more fun than last weekend for you.
Yeah. No, last weekend, visit with the fam, all that. Didn't get to do a whole lot of full fight watching or anything, but we had a good time. Drank some beers and regretted a little bit.
Something we're not going to do this weekend at all.
Yeah, no beers allowed. This is strictly a professional trip. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And our socials will be in the description. Let us know your thoughts on any of this. Let us know your picks on UFC Kansas City. If you're going to be there, again, let us know in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Let's meet up, hang out, drink some beers, and we will definitely see you next time.
Peace.
Later.